What are you doing, Juno? Hey, I can't make this dumb watch move. It's probably me that's dumb. Um, I kind of wanted to, and these are all for new beekeepers, right? I kind of wanted to just talk about that. So I kind of showed you how we want to start our hives and how you should start yours. Make life a little easier for you and your bees. So another thing I wanted to talk about is the equipment that you're going to probably purchase. These are hive tools, um, a couple different kinds. This is just is a waste of money. um, man, this is how they were in the day. I've had this like since I was a teenager. This is really nice for scraping. It's just a nice little tool. It's super strong. I don't know what's happened. These tools, they don't have no strength. We have a lot of these laying around. They're just laying everywhere. They're nice. They make you think you can pry with this, and man, don't pry with it. You just pry your frames apart, and then you're going to be mad that I told you not to do it and you did it anyway. All right. So, but they're nice. We're out in the barn. It's cold. Whew. Stupid Ohio. I know there's other ones. I think the more complex you buy a hive tool, like a universal tool, it just becomes a problem. Um, these are our two go-tos. Only because this is laying everywhere. It's kind of lightweight. It's a handy little thing. This is when we're getting seriously down and dirty in our hives. It's summer. They're hot. The propolis that's holding your frames together is all gooey. This works really great for us. But you can do some damage with that if you're not on your game, right? So these are pretty simple. Most people are going to end up with one of these. So when you're going to inspect your hive, we're just going to say it's full like this is. And your frames are all centered. That's how you left them. This is important now. So you're going to come down in here. You're going to leave this straight edge to the outside and turn it this way to the outside. And then you're going to push inwards, right? And then here again, push inwards. If you pull out, you're going to break your box in time, and then there goes your box, right? $30 or whatever they cost these days. And then, this is a nice little trick. Hold your frame, and then you're going to push this right between your frames to break that seal. You're holding it so it don't pop and piss these bees off. Same over here. Break it loose. What you don't do is put your finger like this and do it. Because if it slips down in here, yeah, you're mad and it hurts and da-da-da, black fingers and your nail gets all whacked. Anyway, we don't want to deal with that. So we now have our frame loose. And like I say, if it's still a little cold and they don't want to come apart, you don't want to go in here and pry with it. So if this one's giving you a little trouble, then just go ahead and push it on out to the outside and let's go after the second one in. Same thing here, right? We're just going to push. Don't put your finger there. It's going to hurt, man. Now that we've done this, we can go at the hive and you get this down here and kind of get your wood and lift it up. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to do this side first, and then I'm going to lift this side, and then I'm going to put it up on the edge right here. Now, I don't need this, unless you get really good at it, and you can just lift it up like this. But if it falls, you better have, that's what's going to happen. So until you get really good at this, just set it up on there. Now you have it, and now I can start doing a little bit of inspection. This second frame end is pretty much is going to be full of pollen. It may have a little brood in it, but we're going to look for our queen real quick. you know, if you had her marked, that's going to help you out a lot, but they can clean that off. So don't think, oh, my queen's marked. Not always. It might not be. It might be last week, but it's not. She's not marked this week, or there's just a little bit of paint on her. So now, what you going to do with this, right? Um, if you put 2x4s down, hey, these sit right on them 2x4s and lean it against the hive it came out of. Don't lean it against the hive it didn't come out of, because if for whatever reason maybe you missed that queen, she'll run inside that other hive. At least this way she'll run in your hive, right? Here we go. Now we've got ourselves a nice opening. Same thing. Pop these apart. Now I have my frame. Now we're getting to some brood here. Probably all brood. Sun is behind us. So that sun is now lighting up this whole frame, right? So use Mother Nature a little bit. So we're looking for mama. Always looking for mama. And then we're going to look down in these cells. I want to see eggs. If I see eggs, I got a queen, right? We'll just stick with this. I got a queen. And then if I see the egg hatch, like this little U, and floating on royal jelly, the milk brood, that's a name, and a lot of royal jelly and not kind of dry, then we have good nutrition coming into the hive. These are good things to see. I don't really need to look no more. But I want you to look, because I want you to understand what's going on in your hive. I think one of the best tools to use is find that frame that has a lot of eggs on it. And you got your pin, right? Put a little something that you're going to recognize, and put a little line, or it doesn't really matter. You don't have to write across the whole frame. Just something that you know what it is. And then you're doing this every week, so you already know when you did this, because I never talked about this, because we wrote on the top of our hive. The Farm Bill says if you keep records of your hive, then if somebody comes and gets stung by your bees or kicked by your horse, then they can't sue you or whatever. They didn't say what kind of records, right? So we just write today's date. I don't care about the year, because what? It's blue, right? This was green last year. Basically, it says 5-5. We put a Q and an R, meaning queen right. All was good. We have the queen. We found eggs, larva. Everything looked good. So QR. And then, all right, we treated with Apogard on this one. So you just keep writing them dates. So the date you were in there, it was good. And then that's when you decided to keep track of that frame of eggs. And then when you're looking at that frame in a week, them eggs should have hatched, and they might be capping them over by now. And then that way you can see that. And then in another week, they're getting a little darker, the cappings. And then that third week, which is 21 days, 3 weeks, that's the brood cycle. This is why we know something was queen, right? We saw that whole brood cycle, and you kind of need to learn the brood cycle. That way, when you are in here and you see the brood in different stages, you know what you're looking at, and you can foresee the future a little bit that way. This is how we'll know how many bees we're really going to have in 2 weeks, right? We'll pick a date. So I know if I see a frame of brood and it's going to hatch in 2 weeks, I will need, here's another little trick, I will need 3 times this space, or 2 more times this space. Because if you look at the cell, And that's the bee like this. But when she hatches, she's going to be like this, walking on it. She covers 3 cells. So that's how I know I need that much more room for her when they hatch. A little tidbit there. So that's how I can see the future with my bees. So that's that. If you got any questions, ask me. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, another thing I want you to do before you get your bees, because you already have your frames, is I want you to practice this. I want you to practice putting that in the hive, pulling it out of the hive. Not this. We don't want to crush our bees. We don't want to piss our bees off, right? That's the biggest thing. We don't want to piss them off. And then I want you to decide what direction you're going to inspect your hive. And do that every time. Don't try to change up. You need to get that motion into your body so it's just automatic. I always do it like this. So, because generally there's the front of my hive and I'm like this from the back. And when I pull this frame out, I always have a hold of it, right? It's not going nowhere. And then the next thing I want you to do is learn to hold your hive. Now they're going to get heavier in time, but you have it here. And that way I can put my fingers in the front and put my thumbs at the top, and I can tilt it up. Sun behind us, right? Looking straight down in them cells. That's why we like black plastic, because you can see that little tiny white egg. So I can see what's going on. And now I'm done with that. I lower it back down. Same move. Fingers on this side, thumbs on this side. And I turn it up and I can look at this side of the frame. So that's how I do it. You can come up with your own plan. Does this work? I have the frame. I'm used to it. I'm not afraid of it. These are things that will help you when you do have bees on your hive. You're already used to this. And then as far as putting it back, it's just backwards. Chances are you leaned it up here. There's going to be some bees here. I would take a look, see if your queen might have been on there. But chances are we're going to find her when you walk through your hive. So now here's the same thing. Put it in there, push your frames all the way to one side, and come over here, pull them back, split the difference. You need this space on each side to be the same. You do not want your hives all crookedy in here. Them girls will make a mess of it, and it'll be miserable for you. And so, if this takes you 15, 20 minutes, it doesn't really matter. You need to learn, and it's fun, right? This is fun. So give you a little insight on if you have 20 beehives in 1 yard, and you need to go through 3 yards in one day, and you're like, well, how do you do that? I've been doing it a long time, right? So we have the Thor, powerful tool here. We just come straight into the middle, boom, right? On this side, boom, and then I just go ahead and just push my frames, and it's got to push them to each side. So I still have my room yet, and then I'm just going to go to here and here, and I know when I pull this out, I'm not going to crush my bees. Even if my queen's on there, I can instantly see her. I'm looking for eggs and young larvae floating on a good pile of royal jelly, knowing I have good nutrition coming into my hive. This is things we need to see. If you don't see good nutrition coming in, you need to help them out. Pollen patties, right? So there we are. I see eggs. I see my nutrition. I put it right back down in there. I didn't thunk it around. I didn't kill no bees. Backwards. I'm going to push it all the way to one side. And, we're just going to do this because we've done this a lot. And there we go. I'm out. I mean, this took me 5 minutes, unless I found something wrong and I want to really look. And there you go. It'd take a little more time. So that's how we do it. Don't do that. I don't want you killing your queen or doing anything wrong. I want you to learn how to do this, and then eventually, you'll get better at it and better at it and more comfortable doing it. That's the thing. I'm just so comfortable around my bees and what I'm doing. I'm not bragging. I'm 40 years. That's all doing it. So that's it, man. I hope it helps. Ask some questions. I'm just throwing these little videos out for people that are getting ready to get their beehives and getting ready to get their bees. Some little tit-tats to help you understand and with what you're getting ready to do. Okay, I'm going to turn this one off. My watch ain't working, so I got to get up.